Hello, I'm Dave Osborn, Chief Executive Officer and General Manager of Valley Telephone Cooperative based in Raymondville. I invite you to join me as I guide you on a tour of our communities throughout South Texas. These video newsletters will provide current information about our plans to grow, our technology, our network infrastructure, and our service offerings that will make life in our rural areas more pleasant and entertaining, and help businesses work more efficiently and achieve a higher level of exposure to their markets and customers. Ready? Here we go with this issue. We'll start with the parent company, Valley Telephone Cooperative, Inc., or as most of you know us, VTCI. We were founded in 1952 by a group of farmers and ranchers who saw the benefits and need for having a telephone at their farms and ranches in South Texas. With financial and planning assistance from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Rural Electrification Assistance, or REA, program, Valley Telephone Cooperative was formed to provide telecommunications services in rural communities that were ignored by Southwestern Bell and General Telephone Company, who were the major telephone companies during this time period. Now in its 60th year of operation, VTCI serves approximately 4,800 customers who use 5,600 access telephone lines and encompass a geographic area of nearly 7,400 square miles in South Texas. As you can see, VTCI field employees have a large amount of windshield time traveling between rural communities and remote customers. It is not unusual for a VTCI service truck to log between 35,000 and 45,000 miles on service calls each year. As other major telecommunications companies have allowed their service quality to slip in the rural areas, VTCI has remained committed to providing the best quality service within expected time frames. Many large multinational companies consider providing excellent services at a cost, and it spoils the customer. Thank goodness that VTCI has never adopted this take-it-or-leave-it mindset toward its customers. VTCI currently has 2 active work centers that give service support to the South Division with customers located in Port Mansfield, San Perlita, La Sarah, Stillman, Cargill, McCook, San Isidro, Encino, and El Sauz. The North Division, with a work center in Dilley, provides service support to member customers in San Miguel, Millet, Fowlerton, Tilden, Artesia Wells, and Anna Rose. A couple of home dispatch VTCI technicians provide coverage in the Mirando City and Concepcion service areas. In the next 5 years, additional regional work centers can be expected to open in Jourdanton, George West, Falfurrias, and perhaps even El Sauz. With the continued improvements in mobile communications, coupled with the continued rising cost of vehicle fuel, VTCI may be driven to move the technical staff closer to each of our member customers. Valley Telephone Cooperative has a fiber optic network that connects the 17 exchange areas that it serves. And this fiber optic network stretches approximately 1,200 route miles. With an agreement that goes back to the late 1990s, VTCI shares some of these fiber optic route miles with AT&T and some of its wholly owned VTX affiliates. Beginning in the mid-1990s, VTCI began linking its remote central office buildings, its digital line carrier cabinets or nodes, together with fiber optics. A digital line carrier cabinet is a small cream-colored box along the side of the roadway in VTCI service areas that looks like a hotel-sized refrigerator. This forward-thinking placement of fiber optics has permitted VTCI to be one of the first rural telephone cooperatives to provide digital subscriber lines, or DSL, for broadband internet access, including fiber to the home, business, farm, and ranch. With broadband availability, member customers not only enjoy faster internet service, and there are hundreds if not thousands of new applications that can be carried over these broadband pipes. The days of watching your timing hourglass spinning on your computer screen have been replaced with clear, high-resolution pictures, text, and videos. With broadband, you can communicate on the telephone, use your computer for research, and watch high-definition nature, historic, or sports programming on your television entertainment at the same time, without any problem in service. Broadband via fiber optics enables high-definition quality on your television sets. Although VTCI's broadband doesn't have the same number of applications or apps as they're called, as the wireless telephones, the VTCI broadband will accommodate many new services that have not been introduced to the general public. Over the next generation of service at VTCI, there will be enormous changes that can be expected, and most of them will involve new technologies that make today's services pale by comparison. VTCI has been committed to its member customers to provide the very best in technologies that remains affordable. Just a short 4 years ago, VTCI became the first rural cooperative in the state to install and operate a true soft switch. A soft switch offers VTCI many more potential services that will be delivered over broadband. With the new soft switch, member customers can turn features on or off using their computers without having to get a VTCI representative involved. VTCI is exploring other new services that will allow your AT&T wireless phone to work from home with better quality and without using up your voice and data monthly allotments of bundled minutes. In October 2007, VTCI began providing fiber to the premises, or FTTP, in the El Sal's exchange on the edge of the Rio Grande city limits. With fiber to the premise success, VTCI has begun offering these services in the Port Mansfield, San Perlita, Stillman, La Sarah, Hargill, McCook, San Isidro, Miranda City, Tilden, San Miguel, Artesia Wells, and Millet Exchange service areas. To make a major transition in technologies from a copper-based buried plant to a fiber optic-based buried plant takes time and capital dollars. We're asking for your patience and cooperation. VTCI is committed to continue to expand the fiber to the premise services as time and capital permits. It took an extended period of time to build out the older copper network, and it will take an equal amount of time and effort to replace it with fiber optics. In Raymondville, Valley Telephone Cooperative has begun building a new corporate headquarters building because the main building featured in past calendars and member meetings has finally been outgrown. VTCI's growth in territory has necessitated adding additional employees in the support services areas such as customer service, network operations, technical support, and so forth. As a local cooperative, Valley Telephone has become more involved with civic events in the communities it serves as a way to ensure the quality of life is continued from generation to generation. On an annual basis, VTCI participates in fishing tournaments in Port Mansfield as a sponsor and participant. VTCI also participates in competitive cook-offs in El Sal, Santa Monica, Port Mansfield, Dilley, Hargill, and San Isidro. VTCI holds memberships in the Rio Grande Valley Partnership's Chamber of Commerce, the Raymondville Chamber, Port Mansfield's Chamber, and the Dilley Chamber of Commerce. Employees spend countless hours away from their day jobs at VTCI supporting these civic organizations, and many employees are involved in school, city, and county organizations that support and nurture the growth of the youth of our communities. VTCI has become a business foundation in the communities where its employees work, and it has become an outstanding corporate citizen for its contributions in time and efforts. In our next episode, we will introduce you to some of the formidable challenges that are facing Valley Telephone over the next decade. We hope you'll stick around when we look at the towns of San Perlita, Port Mansfield, Tilden, and Dilley.
It was only, like, this big.
I didn't know toothpicks counted.
I just think I drive better with a cleaner car.
You mean cigarette butts aren't biodegradable?
I didn't do it. I'm a neat freak.
That stuff was in the back of my truck last time I saw it.
I missed.
I come from a family of litterers.
1 billion pieces of litter, 0 good excuses.
Hey, you dropped something.
Don't tell my mom, okay?
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Now comes the fun part, where we take a look at our local communities. First, we start off with 3 VTCI towns: San Perlita, Port Mansfield, and Tilden. The towns of San Perlita and Port Mansfield were first to have VTCI service when the Cooperative was formed in the 1950s. As VTCI's story is told, the mother of VTCI's current director, J.T. Mayo Jr., had read an article in a national farm journal about the U.S. Department of Agriculture's new Rural Electrical Administration program that would assist rural communities to establish telephone services in places that were overlooked by the large national company. Mrs. Mayo was carrying J.T. Jr. at the time and wanted a telephone line out at the farmhouse in case she needed help during her pregnancy.
And she pestered my dad until he agreed to go attend a meeting over at Monte Alto at the Rio Farms Community Center. And he attended that and got a lot of information, came back to our area and started working with other people that were interested in getting telephones. And of course the whole issue was that she wanted telephone service. It took a year before on my first birthday, they had their first directors meeting. And when I was 6 years old, we got our first telephone.
In the 1960s, VTCI acquired Tilden from General Telephone. Before we wrap up this segment, we'll get a look at the VTX telecom town of Dilley. Please sit back and enjoy our visit to these communities. As part of one of the original land grants from the King of Spain, the area of San Perlita was declared part of the state of Texas land in 1881. San Perlita is a growing farming community almost equidistant on Texas Highway 186 between Port Mansfield on the east and Raymondville on the west. San Perlita is in the heart of a new green environmental technology boom, with the announcement of Eon Energy Corporation construction of a new wind farm that will connect to American Electric Power, or AEP's, transmission grid. In late 2011, Eon Energy began building a wind farm encompassing 4,000 acres and supporting 170 active turbines. Each wind turbine will produce 1.8 to 2.5 megawatts of electricity. Eon uses a full range of VTCI services, such as ultra-high-speed internet and voice technologies. The Chicago-based Eon technology staffers were astounded to find that VTCI offers such a wide range of top-quality broadband services. They also remarked that VTCI was a company who was easy to do business with. San Perlita is one of the few incorporated towns within the 17 VTCI service areas, and it has a mayor and city commission form of government. It is home to the Fighting Trojans, the mascot for a growing Class A school district with K-12 students. San Perlita was the first town where the copper DSL technology was replaced with fiber optics all the way to the premises. Gradually, the fiber optic technology has been extended beyond the town's boundaries to the farms, ranches, and other structures that require telephone and broadband services. San Perlita was one of the first towns to test and be offered the internet television entertainment that rivals cable and satellite TV. It is estimated that approximately 90% of VTCI's San Perlitans have fiber optics to their premises. On the Laguna Madre, 31 miles east of Raymondville in Willacy County, a fishing village once known as Redfish Landing became Port Mansfield in 1950. The port, as it is called by residents, is built on Navigation District land that was surveyed, engineered, and platted by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The Port Mansfield Navigation District is owned by Willacy County and governed by a Navigation District Board of Directors. Most people in Texas and VTCI areas know the port for its outstanding bay fishing in the Laguna Madre and offshore fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. The port is heralded by many outdoor magazines and television shows as one of the top 10 best places to fish in the U.S. Under the leadership of the Willacy County Young Farmers and the Chamber of Commerce, the port hosts several family-oriented fishing tournaments each year, beginning in May and ending in late July. The port has some of the best ecotourism wildlife viewing in all of South Texas. Just before dusk, the streets and lawns are covered with white-tailed deer, feral hogs, wild turkey, javelina, and an occasion Indian antelope called a nilgai. Many leading wildlife photographers have filed a portfolio from their experiences at the port. To the south of the port is the Laguna Atascosa, which is the premier wildlife preserve in the South Texas region. The preserve is home to several hundred species of birds, and included in its portfolio of wildlife is 2 endangered species, the ocelot and the jacaranda cat. From a technology perspective, the port had the highest percentage of broadband internet and is currently split with 50% using fiber optics and 50% using copper ADSL2+ technologies. The port's volunteer fire department holds a well-attended chili cook-off in late February of each year, and the port has a Willacy County-supported park and fishing pier on the north side of the Navigation District's boundary. The port is a great place to live, to visit, to get away for vacation, or to drive out for a dockside dinner of fresh seafood. Next, we'll travel to the intersection of Texas Highway 72 and Texas Highway 16 in the heart of the free state of McMullen County.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes out the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 home runs.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family.
Ooh.
So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making Home Affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
The near-famous town of Tilden is the county seat of McMullen County and is located on the south bank of the Frio River where it meets the Leoncita Creek. In the first 25 years of its existence, Tilden's first name was Dogtown, and this name was attributed to a group of drunken cowboys sending about 15 stray dogs to their final resting place in the streets outside the town's saloon. Tilden supposedly got its current name from the failed Democratic presidential candidate in 1876, Whispering Sammy Tilden. Once a thriving stage stop on the San Antonio to Laredo line, Tilden once was home to McMullen College for 18 years. Today, McMullen CISD has a full range of extracurricular activities for their students and families during the school year. From the VTCI North District bragging rights, Tilden was the first to make the transition from copper to the fiber optic technologies and to have the internet television entertainment. After completing the technology upgrade in town, VTCI is beginning to provide the same service now to the farms, ranches, and other customers outside the city limits. Along with Dilley, Tilden's recent growth can be attributed to the Eagle Ford Shale Formation oil and gas boom cycle. Every April, VTCI has its North District member informational meeting in the McMullen CISD cafeteria. If you're looking for family activities, Tilden has the McMullen Junior Livestock Show in early February and the Tilden Lions Club Labor Day Rodeo that is steeped in South Texas history in September of each year. Finally, we'll take a look at Dilley. Dilley resides 60 miles southwest of San Antonio on Interstate 35, and it has the distinction of being the first town where VTX Telecom launched its test market and became an operating business. This was the first time a VTCI affiliate provided competitive local telephone service outside of the traditional cooperative areas. It was a natural choice because of its compact 3.5 square mile geographic size, its close proximity to VTCI's Dilley Work Center, and its willing customer base who had been asking for VTCI services for years. Dilley had two firsts for VTX Telecom, with the commissioning of the first soft switch and building the first fiber to the premises using passive optical technologies. Since that time, the fiber to the premises has become a full active system, which allows each customer to have more guaranteed bandwidth. As the home of the Wolves, Dilley School District resides on a beautiful campus in the north side of town. As a CISD, Dilley students come in from the VTCI service areas of Millet, San Miguel, and Fowlerton. In the 30-plus communities served by VTCI and VTX Telecom, Dilley has the distinction of one of two towns with a hospital. Residing in the southern third of Frio County, Dilley agribusiness is the heart of the red clay winter garden region of Texas. On a statewide basis, Dilley is in the top 3 producers of watermelons, peanuts, and cattle. Dilley area is also the home to one of the state of Texas' first olive orchards, producing national award-winning olive oil. Dilley has 2 natural economic development drivers. First, they are located on top of the rich Eagle Ford Petroleum Foundation, and second, they're at the crossroads of Texas 85 and Interstate Highway 35. Dilley is also the home to the Dolph Briscoe State Correctional Institution, which is home to nearly 1,000 rehabilitating residents. Dilley has a large city park and pool on the east side of town. The park is home to the family-oriented Watermelon Festival in early June, and Dilley's 4th of July celebration is one to enjoy well into the night. Dilley continues to grow and challenge VTX Telecom, and we're proud to say that Dilley was the first community to open for its services. Now that we've had a tour of these communities, we hope you've enjoyed learning more about our service areas. Please come back next week when we look at immediate challenges facing Valley Telephone and what your board of directors and executive management are doing to counter these drastic measures.